If you struggle with anxiety and overthinking and always worrying about what other people are thinking about you, then stick around to the end of this video because I'm going to share the exact steps and strategies that I use to stop being so anxious and start being much more confident in myself and stop with all of the bullshit overthinking and always worrying about what other people are thinking about me. If you don't already know me, my name is Ben Clark and I'm a confidence coach. I help people become their most confident self. And as a confidence coach, I get asked all the time, Ben, are you always 10 out of 10 confidence? Do you ever feel anxiety? And if you do, what do you do? And the thing is yes, I absolutely still feel anxious moments. I absolutely still experience anxious thoughts and this overthinking and self-doubt. I'm a human too, I'm not a robot. But the difference is that I have a completely different approach and relationship with the overthinking and the anxious moments and thoughts than most people that are sucked into them and don't feel confident because of it. See, confidence is not never experience any of these things. Confidence is being able to also experience some of these negative emotions, some of the overthinking, the imposter syndrome, and be able to work through it and be okay with experiencing that because you have confidence in where you are, what you're doing with your life, and how you can handle those things. So the first thing that is different about how I approach anxiety than most people is you notice my language when I shared this earlier. I experience anxious moments. I experience anxious thoughts. See, I don't label myself as an anxious person. I don't say I have anxiety. It's I experience anxious moments. I experience anxious feelings. And this goes for everything. I experience moments of overthinking. I experience moments of worry about what people are going to think about me rather than I am an overthinker. See, Tony Robbins talks about all the time how humans have this natural tendency to go towards that which is most familiar. And so if what's familiar to us is I am an overthinker, I am an anxious person, we've created this identity. Now we see ourselves as an anxious person, as an overthinker, and so then our reality starts to conform around that belief that we have about ourselves. See, most people don't realize that our identity is just a web of beliefs that we've chosen to agree to, and each belief is followed by a behavior. And so when we change a belief, we're going to change the behaviors. What this means is that when we change our identity, we're going to change our reality, because changing our identity shifts our beliefs, which shifts our behaviors, which shifts the way that we interact with the world. So I don't identify anymore as an anxious person or as an overthinker. I identify as a confident person that just experiences anxious moments and feelings. Now, yes, I get it. It can be a lot easier for me to say that when I actually experience confidence way more of the time than I ever experience anxious moments. I experience way more confident moments because I've worked on that. But it's also because I stepped in very early to the identity, to the version of myself that says I am a confident person. And this is where my approach to confidence and working on yourself is so different than so many people in this space. Is I'm approaching confidence from the place of you already have an innate sense of confidence within you. The truth of who you are, you right now watching this video, is confident. There's no questions, ifs, ands, buts, or arguments about it. I'll ask you this. Are you confident that you're not confident? Or at least are you confident that you could be more confident? Are you confident that you want to be more confident? Right? Yes, 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 and yes. Confidence is a quality that you already possess right now. So in my life, I come from that place of knowing. I remind myself I am a confident person. I'm just clouded sometimes by an experience of maybe some anxious thoughts and feelings. So now I'm not identified with them. Now there's space, okay? And then the second thing I do is when I notice those anxious feelings or anxious thoughts arising, I don't resist them and say, I don't want this. This is bad. This is negative. This means that I'm less than. Other people are going to notice this and they're going to judge me. I just notice and accept whatever feelings are arising with love. I'm not trying to say this feeling sucks, I want it to go away. I say, I acknowledge this feeling as a feeling that I am feeling. And just as all of the other feelings that I feel, that I accept, like joy, happiness, peace, when I feel those, I don't have any qualms with those. I'm going to do the same thing with anxiety, fear, guilt, anger, sadness. I'm going to sit and say, I notice you. Just like if you had a bunch of kids. You've got 10 kids. One's name is love, one's is happy, one's sad, one's anxiety. You're not going to say, I like you, I like you, I like you, I don't like you, I don't like you, I don't like you. You're going to love them all unconditionally just because they are, and they deserve love because they are existing. It's the same thing with all of our emotions. And those emotions, those anxious moments, those negative feelings that do start to arise, those are just literally there for you to acknowledge, to hear, and to accept, just as every other person on this planet around you wants to be in your life. Everyone just wants to be heard, to be loved, and to feel that they are receiving the love that they deserve, because we all, no matter who we are, we all do deserve love in this life. So, that being said, when I experience these things, I treat them from that place. Anxiety. An anxious moment. An anxious feeling. I notice you. I accept you. And sometimes I'll even then inquire, like, okay, where is this coming from? Like, what is the pushing this anxious feeling to arise and starting to create these anxious thoughts? And then I'll also question the anxious thoughts that are starting to arise, because our thoughts are really just coming from our perception of what's happening, and then those thoughts are creating these feelings. And so I'll come to those thoughts and I'll say, where is it that these thoughts are arising from? Like, what's going on? What do I believe that's going to happen? What is my perception here that's creating these thoughts, which is creating these feelings? Oh, okay, so there's some sort of perception that if I go up to this person, if I approach this girl and I get rejected, that I won't be enough, that I'll be embarrassed, I'll be seen as less than. Oh, so then there's those thoughts that start coming up of, I'm going to be rejected, I'm going to be seen as less than, I'm going to be seen as a failure, not from just other people, but also from myself. And that's creating this uneasy feeling, and it's starting to get feelings moving. Sometimes I can feel it building up here. My heart will drop, my face will turn red. And it's all really coming from these thoughts of the worry of what if I get rejected. And really we have to understand is that those thoughts are really just stemming from this innate, really part of our evolution that evolved to keep us alive. It's this part of our mind that says, hey, if you get rejected from the tribe, you're going to be out in the wild all alone without shelter, and there's lions that are going to come around and might eat you and you might die. Like, that's literally where our brain is coming from when we're worried about like going up and approaching someone and we're afraid of being rejected or being embarrassed or whatever. Like, that's literally the part of our brain that's creating all of that is really just fear of death from millions of years ago, thousands of years ago, when we're surviving out in the wild. And so when not only am I not labeling myself as an anxious person, but now I'm starting to notice the anxious thoughts and feelings and I'm accepting them as being there, but I'm also starting to inquire and question, where is the root of what's happening? And then I start to play out a new game, right? Instead of focusing on the worst case scenario, I get rejected and then I'm embarrassed and then I feel less than and whatever. I start playing a new game. I say, what's the best case scenario? What if I actually go up to this person and they think, even if I'm a little bit awkward or a little bit uncomfortable, what if they think that that's actually really attractive and they're really magnetized by that? And what if this person could be the love of my life? Or what if this person could become a best friend? Or what if this person could suddenly present a business opportunity for me that could make me more money and allow me to serve at a higher level? It's like, why do we focus so much on the negative what ifs? Right? And I'm sure watching this, you've been in that place of focusing on the negatives. What's the worst case scenario? And that can start to drive our lives and keep us on this treadmill. But all of a sudden, it's like when we can inquire where it's coming from, and now we're already not attached to like wanting these things to go away. We're just having a conversation really with what's going on. And then we can start creating and playing out, like, what's the best thing that could happen from this? And then we start to say, like, why couldn't that happen? Why am I so locked on it has to be the worst thing that's gonna happen and I'm gonna get rejected and it's all gonna go poorly? It's like, why can't the best thing possibly happen? And then when you allow yourself to shift into that place, coming from this place of like, but it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be the best case scenario, but like, why can't I explore that being possible? And if it does happen that I'm rejected, like, what's actually gonna happen? Am I actually gonna die? Or is it just gonna be me that that sees myself as less than, weaker than? And can I work through that? Can I deal with that? And then we start just changing this relationship with ourselves and that whole experience. But really the key here is that I don't resist it. I allow whatever's coming up to come up. And that gives me more confidence because I know that now when those things arise, I'm not pushing against it so much. And I know it's not going to be that uncomfortable because I can deal with it because I've practiced over time dealing with those things. And so then you have more confidence in yourself being able to show up and deal with whatever arises. And then that confidence continues to flow. And I call this the confidence effect. We have more confidence and then we're going to actually start to get better results because we're focusing on the possible things that could happen that are really positive. And then more of those start happening. And then we feel more confidence and then we get better results. And then we just keep going in this loop. And this is really the confidence effect. And this is something that I see in all of the people that I work with and even the people that follow along to my content over a long period of time. Like life just keeps getting better. Well, I'm like, yeah, because you're starting to experience the confidence effect. You're starting to work through things in a different manner than you have been in most of your life or even your whole life for a lot of people. And so I've been doing this for a while, and so that confidence effect is really just flowing through. And so yes, I experience much less anxious moments. I experience much less of these negative experiences and all the worry about what people are going to think, but it still arises. I just have now tools and strategies to deal with these things, but more than that, I have a completely different perspective and viewpoint of these things because I've separated myself from identifying with that whole story and the diagnoses and whatever, and I've said, you know what, no, I'm actually the confident person that's underneath all of this. I've just been asleep and I needed to unblock it, and so now I've separated that space. And so now I can start to identify as a different version of myself that's not getting sucked into that story all of the time. And then this just makes life so much better. So that's a lot, but you can now see exactly how I'm operating with this in my life. It's not perfect. Am I every single time an anxious moment comes up and I'm totally like completely detached, completely okay with it? No, there's still some times where I'll notice myself resisting it or wanting to go away or being upset or frustrated, like why am I feeling this way, whatever. But then I just catch myself and I just keep coming back. And then more and more you practice this and you're able to just let things flow more, express yourself authentically, feel totally way more unstifled in conversation. You become much more of a magnet to better people, deeper relationships, better opportunities, and you just believe in yourself way, way more. I mean, you can feel it in my energy. This is not how I always was, guys. Like a few years ago, I was an anxious, people-pleasing college student, always in my head, worrying about what people were thinking of me. I was turning down date parties. I was not going out to the bars, and when I did, I was kind of holding in my corner. I was really just shy and just I couldn't get out of my shell and be that extroverted, go and approach people. And now my life is much, much different. So this is exactly what I help people do. I do this with one-on-one coaching as well, but I've got a ton of free stuff out there as well. I'll drop a link in my bio for my free 3-step framework. It's a video training on exactly the framework that I walk all my clients through to really start awakening this confidence within them and really unblock it and start to create the life that they desire. So it's completely free, literally zero cost to you. I'll link that down in my bio if that's something that you're interested in. But I also post a ton of content on Instagram, which is all free. I've got a broadcast channel in there, a lot of really great stuff. If you have any specific questions, shoot me a DM on Instagram and I'll try my best to get back to you. But in the meantime, if you got any value from this, if you resonated with this message, and if this provided any sort of insight to you to make any improvement in your life, I would love it if you just drop a like on this video to tell me that this was valuable so I know what to keep making and maybe what not. And if you have any thoughts, insights, if anything came up, if you have questions for me, drop it in the comments, let me know, and I'll get back to you there. And otherwise, subscribe if you did get that value so that you can continue to get value as I continue to post and provide different insights, tips, frameworks, stories, whatever really that you guys want to see from me in terms of how I've made a positive impact in my life through confidence and how I help people do that. I'm going to share tons of great knowledge, probably things that you've never even heard of. My approach to confidence I found is truly a lot different and deeper, and it happens a lot faster than I found in terms of a lot of other approach and a lot of other people out there in the space. A lot of amazing stuff out there. So pick what resonates for you and really what helps you. Here to serve you. So go drop a like on this video if it provided value. Drop a comment if you've got any insights or want to see anything from me. Go download that free, literally free, zero cost for you guide down in the link in my bio to get the simple 3-step framework that I walk everyone through to start changing their life with confidence. I've created that guide specifically for you to make it accessible to you. No charge at all. I just want to serve you. So go check that out. And if you don't already, go follow me on Instagram. I post a lot of sauce on there. Subscribe to this channel. I'm sending super positive, confident energy your way. I'll see you next time.